Welcome to Is It Real News. Back with you. I understand there was another shooting where African American was shot in the back by a police officer. Let me say this. This is, since Cain killed Abel, that's always going to be wrong. There's always going to be tragedies. There's always going to be misfortune. People who do stupid things normally affect innocent people. And let me say that every time a white cop involves a shooting of what you call a black person, don't mean it's always racist. Sometimes poor decision is made, poor choices is made. We all have made some poor choices and poor decisions. And it's not always racism. We have this Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson situation. Show up when the cameras show up. Please understand this, that don't mean the officer was right, but it also don't mean it was racist. There's been brutality by police officers ever since they put on the badge. Have Negroes and been targeted by police officers because they can get away with it? Yes. Yes, and probably going to continue to be some. But what we don't do is to educate our people how to reduce the chance of you becoming a victim of brutality by a police officer. We're not educating the individual. We need to stop and educate the individual regarding when a police officer approaches you, this is what you need to do. Order for your life to be spared, order to avoid brutality, avoid from being injured, avoid from becoming another victim killed by a police officer. We're not doing this. We simply want to get in front of the camera. And it's too late. The individual is dead. I guarantee you this is not the first encounter. This is not the first disruptive behavior by majority of these individuals that are shot by a police officer. But what I like to hear is, I like to see before the chalk line come out, how many individuals or how many agencies did this person call? The mother now want to stand in front of the camera with the baby on her hip, talking about what the father not going to get a chance to see her child grow up. Okay, having the mother standing there crying next to a minister, a lawyer, an attorney, and city activists and community activists, standing next to them because the chalk line is out. How many of these individuals did this person call? Show me your checklist. How many people you call that didn't call you back? How many agencies that you tried to contact that did not respond to you? How many doors did you knock on prior to the chalk line? And nobody answered. Show me that checklist. Because these individuals being shot, this is not their first encounter. But I guarantee you one thing, if you're dressed like a duck and during duck season, you will be shot at. Now what I'm saying is if you act like a thug, act like a gangster, and these individuals, their lives on the line as well. They don't know the good and the bad. Should they be accountable for their action? Yes. Should they be accountable for their poor judgment? Yes. Should they be accountable for their poor decision? Yes. But do that mean there's always racism involved? That answer is no. If any I'm not the biblical scholar, hallelujah person, but I when I went to Sunday school, I heard one of them things say that he without sin can cast the first stone. We all have done something was wrong, something that wasn't right, something that hurt somebody. Maybe you think in your mind you always been the victim. If you think that way, it's because you're the perpetrator. We got to my point of this all, and even if I kind of strayed some because I got emotional with this, but we taking this racist thing too far when we are, most of us and some of us are advocated for racists. When you can say something and I can't say it simply because of the color of my skin, that's racism. I don't care who it is, Steve Harvey, Cat Williams, Central Entertainment, Oprah. I don't care who it is. If I'm restricted from saying something simply because of the color of my skin, that's racism. And that denounced everything that Martin Luther King stood for. That we would not be judged according to the color of our skin, but the content of our heart and character. We got to educate young black youth. We got to educate because I guarantee you majority of the time in major cities, when you call 911, a white whatever you want to call them, Caucasian, I call them PA, because I never met a white person in my life. This is white, and I ain't never met a person that color in my life. We're using the same terminology that we've been using for 100 years. I was watching the news a few weeks ago, and the young lady, there was a shooting somewhere, and they said they're looking for a young black youth. Now, any young black youth in that zip code, life just got in danger. Just not a black youth with a red cap, white shoes, blue shirt. The anchor person, the news person, just said they're looking for a young black youth, a young black person. That's all they said. How wrong. That is so racism. Profiling an individual simply based upon their race. Not a brown-skinned person, a light-skinned person, but a young black youth. And this was on a national, it was a local news station, 13, I think. So my point is, again, I'm straying away from the major point here. And the focus point is, if we don't educate our black youth, African American youth, on what to do when you're approached by a police officer, to give you the opportunity to be heard, give the opportunity for your voice to be heard, give the opportunity to contact your lawyer, give the opportunity to contact your loved one, give the opportunity to make that phone call. You need to know how to give yourself a chance to make that phone call. And trying to act like a bad boy, resisting, being a bully, a thug, and talking about you haven't done anything and retaliating and being rebellious, go ahead. You have rights, but there's a right time to express your rights. Because you have the right to say something, it don't mean it's the right thing to say. Because you have a right to do something, it don't mean it's the time to do it. We got to educate our youth, educate anyone. When a police officer approaches you, what is some of the things you need to do to help preserve your life? What are the things you can do to reduce your chance of being shot, or someone putting a needle on the back of your neck, or being shot in the back? Grabbing a laser gun and pointing it at a police officer is not the right step to take to preserve your life. Being resistant when a police officer is trying to handcuff you is not the time. You want to get the opportunity to make that phone call. And we can continue to do these Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton moves. But I guarantee you, no matter what lawsuit they win, you're dead. You don't get a chance to enjoy one penny of it. You don't get a chance to sit through the court proceeding and prove your point that you was harassed, that you were profiled simply because of the color of your skin. You don't get that opportunity. And these individuals who win the lawsuit, they're going to go on and enjoy that money. And those who help them to win the money going to be standing out with their hands out. You can't extend your hand nowhere because a chalk line been put around your body. Get the chance, get the opportunity to make that phone calls and let your voice be heard. I don't care LeBron James, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Oprah, I don't care if it's Osteen, I don't care if it's John Gray. I don't care if it's Wilson. If we don't educate individuals on what to do when you're approached by a police officer to preserve the chance to let your voice be heard, then you can continue to stand and scream and shout and make these unnecessary moves, make these 15-minute fame moves to get yourself in front of a camera to tell the world you drunk in a drive-through window. I guarantee you your chance of being a good father is slim and none. It's guaranteed. I'm going to put it up in the 80% category. You fall out and pass out in a drive-up window, totally intoxicated, and somehow or another you're going to be paraded as a good father? That, people, get real. Stop lying to yourself. Help these individuals to preserve their life. Educate them, help them, teach the youth, community center, the boys club, the YCMA, and other agencies, and other people with a voice, such as LeBron James, doesn't matter, Steve Harvey, Cat Williams, you can go on down that list, Osteen, T.D. Jake, Clifford Dollar. We can go up and down that list of individuals who have that platform, who have that stage. I plead with you, I beg you, help educate individuals what to do when a police officer approaches you. Talking about the wrong is not going to fix it. Martin Luther King said through education, through programs that will educate our people. If you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best. But how you be the best? Through education, through learning. All right, I got a little emotional here because I'm sick of hearing this racism thing because we're playing it. We're playing it in the news station and CNN and Fox and all the rest of them, your major news outlet. They are a business to stay in business. And they're going to do anything to keep the fire burning because they know we love negative things more than positive things in this country. We're going to remember for the wrong, the 9/11 or Michael Jackson or Bill Clinton. We're going to remember their wrong as though they've done no good. And unfortunately in this country, the wrong kind of overshadow the good things. You can do 99 great things, and with that one wrong thing, and somehow or another, we run it, air it, show it, burn it, kill it, raise it up, kill it again. No one want to mention the good things you do when you've done something wrong. But I leave this with you. Is it real news? When we are in pain, that's always going to be blame. Almost 93% of the time, when we are in pain, that's going to be blame, and we fail to do self-evaluation when we are in pain. Because there's things we can do to avoid pain. We can learn from pain. We can educate ourselves from pain, but we don't. We tend to point the finger. They always say 1 on the person, 3 on me, and 1 on God. Kind of like this. See? I got 1 on you, but what I don't see is the 3 on me. And when all else failed, when we can't find nobody else to blame, we simply blame God. God, is your fault. Why you let it happen? Why did my child, my loved one, have to go through this? Why we tend, when we run out of individual to blame for the pain in our lives, we shoot that thumb up and then we blame God. And a lot of time we just make a self-evaluation. We're not going to avoid pain, but we can learn to deal with it better. And I plead with the agencies and the individuals who have the platform, educate individuals on what to do when you're approached by a police officer to give you that opportunity for your voice to be heard. Is it real news? Go with God and he'll always go with you. Do the right things and right things will come back to you.